Once upon a time, in a lush forest near a sparkling river, there lived a wise old tortoise named Tarko. Tarko was known throughout the forest for his slow but steady pace and his thoughtful nature. He spent his days wandering through the underbrush, observing the world around him with calm eyes and a gentle heart. One day, as Tarko was basking in the warm sunlight by the riverbank, a rabbit named Rebate hopped over to him. Rebate was the fastest creature in the forest, always darting here and there, never staying in one place for too long. He was proud of his speed and loved to boast about how he could outrun anyone, even the wind itself. "Hey, Tarko," Rebate called out, his voice full of excitement. "Why don't we have a race? Let's see who's faster." Tarko looked up at the energetic rabbit and smiled. "A race, you say? Well, that does sound like fun. But remember, my friend, speed isn't everything." Rebate laughed, shaking his head. "Oh, Tarko, you're always so wise and slow. But this time, let's see how far that wisdom takes you. I'll give you a head start to make it fair." Tarko nodded and began to move slowly along the path they agreed upon, his steady steps leaving small imprints in the soft earth. Rebate watched him for a moment, then decided to take a quick nap under a nearby tree. After all, he was confident that he could easily catch up and win. As Tarko made his way along the winding path, he enjoyed the sights and sounds of the forest. He greeted the squirrels, admired the blooming flowers, and even helped a beetle that had flipped over on its back. He moved slowly but surely, never once stopping or rushing. Meanwhile, Rebate's nap lasted longer than he had intended. When he finally woke up, the sun was already beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the forest. Panicked, Rebate sprinted along the path, his feet barely touching the ground. He zoomed past the trees and bushes, expecting to see Tarko just up ahead. But as Rebate rounded the final bend, he was shocked to find Tarko already at the finish line, smiling gently and surrounded by their forest friends who had gathered to watch the race. "But how?" Rebate stammered, out of breath and bewildered. Tarko chuckled softly. "You see, Rebate, while you were resting, I kept moving forward. I may be slow, but I don't stop. Sometimes it's not about how fast you go, but how steady you are on your journey." Rebate hung his head, realizing the truth in Tarko's words. "You're right, Tarko. I was so sure of my speed that I didn't even think about the race. I should have kept going instead of wasting time." Tarko nodded kindly. "We all have our strengths, Rebate. But it's important to remember that perseverance and determination can take you just as far as speed, if not further." From that day on, Rebate learned to balance his speed with patience, and Tarko became an even greater source of wisdom for all the creatures in the forest. The two became close friends, often seen walking together, one at a quick hop, the other at a slow, steady pace, enjoying the beauty of the world around them. And so, the tortoise and the rabbit taught everyone that in the race of life, it's not always about who gets there first, but about how you travel the path.